The autopsy is conducted by Jack Hammond. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always worth having a look at the files before conducting the autopsy.
Hello there gorgeous gamers, and welcome back to Pure Play TV, and we have a bit of a grim one for you this time. It's Autopsy Simulator, and it's not what you think. Watch on and find out why.
The body was found in a dry field drain.
If you followed the channel for any amount of time, you will know that I am the simulator guy on the team. So it was with a morbid curiosity that I downloaded the Autopsy Simulator demo from Steam as part of this year's Steam Next Fest. You can download it too, if you dare. I went in assuming it would be another weird little simulator showing me the mundane life of an autopsy technician. Oh, I was wrong. But I was also right. But I was mostly wrong. Unlike, say, Bus Simulator or Lawn Mowing Simulator, this game seems to have a story of sorts, and no, it's not a cutesy rom-com where the lonely 30-something who only hangs out with dead people suddenly finds love with their neighbour. Actually, it might be, but from the 30-minute demo I played, that was not the vibe that I got as the goosey peas ran up my arms and stuck the hairs on the back of my neck on end. And if you're wondering what goosey peas are, they're goose pimples. I call them goosey peas because it makes them less associated with being terrified. Anyway, so the game begins with your character in his office. After a quick mooch around, it's time to grab the video camera, the game takes place in the early 90s, and to get to work in the butcher's room. A quick setup of the camera, minus the ring light and the OnlyFans login, and it's time to see what the poor bugger on my table died of. There's some helpful narration by the player character. He essentially guided me through the actions required to perform the autopsy. First, a quick look at the police file to learn the circumstances of the victim's demise. Poor Toby was found dead in a ditch. He was known around town as a homeless boozer whose wife had run away years ago. The poor guy was down on his luck and he had turned to the drink. The local arsehole kids sometimes bullied him, but he didn't cause much trouble, aside from begging outside the gas station and offering to wash cars to make some cash to feed his addiction. That's Toby's story, but how did he end up on my slab? You can't ask him, he's dead. You have to ask his innards and see what they say. But first, an external examination. This was the easy part, and my lunch was holding steady in my stomach. Then I was told to take the scalpel and open up his torso. I felt a little dread in doing this. It's one thing to shoot a masked baddie in Call of Duty, but to cut open a lifelike human facsimile? That's different, and a bit too close to home for me. Still, I followed the instructions and carved through the flesh, and then pulled back Toby's chest to expose all of his wonderful guts. Yummy. It actually wasn't as horrific as I thought it would be, which I am grateful for, but it was still a little uncomfortable. I continued following the guide, taking out pieces of Toby, examining them, cutting them, and even withdrawing some fluids to examine in the centrifuge. Very technical stuff, and it made me feel much smarter than I actually am. Then the power went out, because of course it would. With a flashlight in hand, I wandered out of the cutting room and back into the hallway, and there was a shriek that sounded like a cat getting yeeted. My character jumped and dropped his torch. I jumped and spilled my tea. A cautious walk to the storage room and a couple of flip switches restored the power. And then it hit me. This isn't just a simulator game, is it? If I had taken the time to read the store page for the game, I would have known that this was a horror game, not just another dinky little simulator for sad dads to while away the hours with. As I walked back towards where I had left Toby, I wondered if he would actually still be there. Would the game do that to me? Would it have him sitting upright, playing with his own heart? I crept back in and, to my relief, Toby was still chilling on the table. Phew. A few more tests, slices and examinations later, and I had determined that poor Toby kicked the bucket after getting absolutely sozzled and then choking on his own vomit as he slept. With the autopsy done, I assumed the game would fade to black, thank me for playing, and insist I add the game to my wishlist. That did happen, but not before a phone call from the office. I headed toward the office, but the call went straight to the machine, and yeah, it was creepy as hell, and when I returned to the autopsy room to finish up, Toby was gone, and my goosey peas had spread to my nipples. Even with the heating on full blast, I was smuggling raisins under my shirt, and I was relieved when the game finally did fade to black and thank me for playing. Autopsy Simulator is more than its name, and I'm not sure I really want to know the full story. I do, but I also don't. But I probably will. I'm hooked on that weird premise, and there is an educational value there as well, even if it is a little bit grim. And that is the end of this preview. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you want to try the game out for yourself, you can download the free demo from Steam as part of this year's Steam Next Fest. If you did enjoy this video, do us a massive favour, hit the like and subscribe buttons below, turn on notifications, and maybe leave a comment and share with your friends. It all helps our little humble channel grow. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, cheers my dears.
Remember,